It's time for another live Q&A all about eBay and Amazon dropshipping. This is just a chance for me to sit down and go through all your comments on all my YouTube videos from the past week. Any questions that you have, I'm answering them right now. And if you're here live, please ask your question in the live chat. I'll answer it during my next live Q&A. I usually do them Wednesday nights. This one I'm doing Wednesday afternoon because I'm busy tonight. So let's get into some of the questions, and I also want to go over some news that's been happening with eBay's sales tax kind of thing that's been going on. I'll explain more about that in a second. But real quick, let's see who's here in the live chat. I am on the road right now, so maybe the video is not the best quality, but you should be able to hear me fine. So what is up, Peter? Rich says, okay, let's light this candle. Do people really say that? No, Rich, I don't think they do. What's up, everyone? Okay. Let's see. Let's see who else is here. Hey, what's up, Jameson? Lazy Abram, yo, what's up, man? Bobby, what's up, Bobby? Thanks for being here. All right, so before we get into the questions, I did want to shout out my student of the week, and that is Garth. He just posted this inside the Dropshipping Titans group, which is a group just for members of my eBay course. And you can see he just hit $30,000 in sales. So he just hit the 30K club. Congratulations, Garth. He has awesome advice for all the other students. It says, keep pushing, never give up. So congratulations, Garth. And he really shows that consistency is the key. So recently I made a video where I talked about how eBay recently changed the way they handle sales tax, where now sales tax is first being directed into our PayPal accounts, and then eBay takes out the sales tax, and then they take care of sending all that sales tax to all the different states. Now, the problem with this is that because it goes into our PayPal account, we are being charged a fee, a PayPal fee for that sales tax. And we can't really predict how much we are going to pay for each sale because every state has a different percentage for sales tax. So it's a little bit of confusing, and it's kind of sneaky that eBay did this. So I kind of called eBay out in the last video that I made, because I wasn't even sure if what eBay was doing was fully legal. Because according to the states, the reason eBay is doing this, or is collecting the sales tax to begin with, is because 35 states have told eBay, hey, you have to collect the sales tax for the sellers. The sellers on eBay, they are no longer responsible for collecting sales tax. eBay, you have to now collect it, and you have to then collect it and send it to us, every month or every quarter or so. So that responsibility is now on eBay. All 35 states have passed these laws. So I was saying that maybe eBay is doing this wrong because they're first putting it into our accounts, which we're not even really supposed to touch that sales tax at all because it's not our responsibility. And because we're not registered with those states, you have to register in order to deal with sales tax. And we're not, because we don't have to, because eBay's doing it. So a lot of you guys commented on that video. I'm going to show you some of those comments, what some people said, clear up some confusion, and then talk about the update since then, because I do have a little bit more information about it. So Gennady says, am I still allowed to collect sales tax from my home state buyer, or eBay is going to do that on my behalf? So like I said, eBay is now doing this automatically for all sellers for 35 states. Maybe by the time you watch this, it's going to be even more. So if your state is one of those 35 states, then you don't have to worry about it. eBay is taking care of it for you. And I'll link up underneath this video a link to eBay where they talk about, or they have a list of all 35 of those states. So check that list first. So Black Image says, are we not paying taxes twice on the same products? If a buyer buys the item from me and the buyer has to pay sales tax to eBay, and then I buy the item from Amazon and Amazon charges me sales tax, then there's double taxation going on here. And Black Image, yes, technically that's true, but that's why we can become tax exempt. So when you become tax exempt, you're basically saying, hey, when I buy this item from Amazon, I don't have to pay sales tax on it because I'm going to sell it to someone and they're going to pay sales tax. See, the way sales tax works is only the end consumer has to pay sales tax. So if I buy this mug and I buy it because I'm going to use it, I pay sales tax on it. But if I buy it knowing that I'm going to resell it and sell it to someone else, then by law, I don't have to pay sales tax on it, but I would then charge sales tax to my customer, collect it, and send it to the state, or eBay would do that for me. Now, in order for me to avoid paying sales tax, there is like a registration process. You have to provide proof that you are a reseller and all these types of things. But that is the basis of how you become tax exempt. That's the whole rationale behind it. So there wouldn't be sort of double sales taxation there. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that some websites, some stores, such as Target, they don't care if you're going to resell it. They don't endorse resellers. So if you buy this mug from Target, then Target is always going to charge you sales tax. Even if you say, hey, I'm just going to resell this, they say, I don't care. We're still going to charge you sales tax. And actually, they are allowed to do that. But that's a good question. So me had a question, says, so I thought I still needed to file an actual return even though eBay remits the taxes. TaxJar stated Amazon and eBay will not file and return on your behalf, only remit taxes, so you still need to file. So that might be confusing for many people. So prior to eBay collecting sales tax for us for these 35 states, we as sellers actually had to register with several of these states. I'm not going to go into exactly which states we had to register with. It's a little bit confusing. But let's just say before eBay started doing this, you had registered with 10 states. And so those 10 states you had to collect sales tax for, you had to hold on to it, and then you had to remit it every, let's say, quarter, because that's what the states told you to do. Now, eBay is taking care of those 10 states for you. They are collecting it and they are remitting it for you. But you are still registered in those 10 states. So you still have to file a sales tax return for those 10 states. You're still on the books with those states, so they still expect you to file each quarter. But you're going to tell them, hey, I did $10,000 in sales, but eBay or Amazon took care of all that for me. They collected and remitted the sales tax for me. And the states know this is happening, so they're not going to, or they're probably not going to audit you for this because they know that this is happening, that eBay is doing this for you. Now, the other part of this is that if you're brand new to eBay, you don't have to register in those 10 states. And actually, you can now close down your accounts, or you can close down your registration with those 10 states because eBay is taking care of them for you. So you don't have to worry about them anymore. Close them down so you don't have to file the sales tax returns with those states. Now, along that same vein, you had registered in 10 states. Now there's 25 other states that eBay is taking care of for you. You don't have to register in those 25 states. You don't need to do it. eBay is taking care of everything. You don't need to file returns in those states. eBay is taking care of that for you, like I said. The only time you would now have to file is, one, if you want to become tax exempt. There's a bit of a process, and it does require you to register with at least one state. And the other time you would have to register with the state is if you're selling on another marketplace that's not handling sales tax for you. So let's say you have a Shopify store. I think that you'd be in charge of sales tax yourself. So you might have to register with those states because you are doing it directly and eBay's not taking care of it for you in that example. So I hope that kind of clears things up for you. I think that answers all of your questions there. So a lot of questions from international sellers asking, okay, well, I don't live in the United States. I don't live in a state. Is eBay, but I'm selling on eBay.com. Is eBay still going to be charging sales tax to my customers? And the answer is yes. And the reason for that is because eBay basically is like replacing you in a way. That's maybe not the best way of thinking about it, but the answer is yes. eBay is still responsible for collecting sales tax for all items that are shipped into these 35 states, no matter where you live. And that's just what the rule is. Kent has a good suggestion in favor of a national sales tax. And a national sales tax would basically, I think, if I understand it correctly, is just a flat rate. That might not help this situation so much because eBay is now handling the sales tax for us. So the national sales tax rate doesn't really matter because eBay is responsible for it anyway. But it would definitely make things easier. All right, so let's go back to the live chat now and see who's here. William has a good question. William says, hey, Paul, what should I do if a delivery company has tried to deliver the package to the customer and the package is then left in the delivery company's office? So this does happen sometimes. Usually with UPS, they will leave the package at a UPS drop-off point. And what you want to do is tell the buyer that that UPS couldn't locate their house for whatever reason, and that the order now has to be canceled. And what's going to happen is UPS is going to hold that package at the pickup point for a certain number of days, and then the package will be sent back to Amazon and you'll get a refund. You'll have to tell them they have to reorder the item. Hey, what's up, Tina? Thanks for being here. And Black Image, what's up? Where am I taking a trip to? So we are going up to Orlando, Florida. I have my parents are flying in. There is a event that we're going to together, and my dad's winning a big award, so I'm really proud of him. And he's probably on the plane right now, so he might not be watching, but really proud of him. It's a really big honor that he's receiving this award in Orlando. So driving up there to hang out with him and see his award ceremony. And then Saturday, we're going to Disney World to check out the new Star Wars theme park, which I'm super excited for. What's up, Cam? Yes, you can become tax exempt if you live outside the United States. What's up, Quiet Tech? A very goofy system. Yeah, eBay definitely made a very goofy system. Oh yeah, so I said I had an update for you guys about all this sales tax stuff. I'll give that to you in 1 minute once I get caught up on the comments. Let's see. Sales tax exempt only in your own state? No, not necessarily. So you're going to register in your own state, and then because you registered in one state, you can now become tax exempt in multiple states. Not all of them, but multiple states. Let's see. What's up, DJ? You look like you were on the space shuttle. Like I said, I'm on my way to Star Wars World. Okay. Black Image. Oh. I see it now. Okay, cool. Okay, what do you do if a buyer claims they received less than the quantity that they ordered? So there's two ways that this could happen. One is if the item itself is supposed to be a multi-quantity. So let's say you buy something from Walmart, and when you buy one of them, let's say you get a package of 2 mugs. And I use that as an example because actually when I bought this from Amazon, we got a big mug and we got this mug. So it was a package set. So if they're claiming that they only received part of that package, you have to ask them to return the item, and then they can get a new one sent out. Now, sometimes what happens is they'll order 2 of the same item and say they only received 1. So let's say they ordered 2 of these mugs, a quantity of 2, and they only received 1. The first thing you want to do is look at the weight of the package compared to the weight of the item. That way you can tell if they're lying or not. We've had this happen where people claimed they received an empty box, or they only received 1 and they ordered like 10 of them, and we shipped out 10 of them. And by the package weight, it was really clear that they were lying, that they did receive all of them. So that's an option for you. And another thing is what you want to do is contact the supplier. So contact Walmart, contact Amazon, tell them the same thing the buyer told you. They will sometimes just ship out a new one. Sometimes they'll just refund you. Sometimes they'll open up an investigation with the shipping company. Usually it's better to let them handle it because they're in the better position to do that. So I wanted to give you guys the update on sales tax. It's not a big update, but so after I made that video, I was a little bit like, I'm not sure if what eBay is doing is right and if they're doing this right. So I spent a long time yesterday calling a lot of the states, a lot of the Department of Revenues for the different states, and basically presented this problem to them. I said, hey, can I speak to whoever can talk to me about the marketplace facilitator rules for your state? And they would often transfer me to a tax expert or a tax consultant, they usually call them. And I would present this to them and say, hey, I know you have this marketplace facilitator laws, and I'm currently selling online, but I haven't hit the threshold for your state, so I've never registered for your state. But I understand that's okay because eBay is collecting sales tax for us now. And they said, that's right. So I said, well, eBay recently made a change where starting November 1st, the money first goes into my PayPal account, then they take it out and send it to you guys. And I wanted to make sure that was okay because I'm not registered with your state, and as I see it, the money's never supposed to hit my account. Now, some of the states I called, they honestly said they don't care as long as they get paid. Actually, many of the states said that. So a lot of them said, we don't care as long as we get paid. I was like, all right, that makes sense. And they wouldn't even really entertain my question too much. Some of the other states I called, I think it kind of went right over their head. They weren't really understanding what my question was. They kept telling me, oh, you got to speak to your accountant. And I said, well, no, this has nothing to do with my accounting. I'm just trying to figure out, according to your law, if this is correct, the correct way of doing this. And it just went like way over their head for some reason. But some of the states I called, they agreed with me. For instance, I called, I don't want to kind of say which states, because I spoke to individuals there. It's probably not representative of their actual policy necessarily, or they're not like spokespeople for it. But more than a few states said, that sounds really weird the way eBay's doing it, and it really shouldn't be touching your account at all. And I had a few people who said they would call me back about it. Haven't received it back. A few said, well, it's weird, but I guess it's okay. And it's weird, but it's fine because it's instantly coming out of your PayPal account. But a few of them said, it's really strange that they're doing it that way. We're going to look into this, and we'll look into it. And so I didn't quite get the answer I was looking for a lot of the states. But hey, at least I brought it to the attention of a lot of states. I didn't get through all the states, but I did start at the top and worked my way down for a bunch of them. Let's see more questions here. Anyone ever tell you you look like Logic? I've gotten that a few times, usually after I get a haircut, and if I'm wearing a hat and my glasses. I get that more often than not, if I don't wear my glasses. Okay. eBay closed my account after sending all the paperwork due to restriction MC011. What can I do? Please help. So I don't have a lot of information from you as to why your account was shut down. So I can't exactly answer the question for you. But if you submitted the paperwork and they still didn't reinstate your account, then maybe something you did was not up to par with eBay, so they did shut you down permanently. I don't know, like I said. But one option for you is to create an eBay stealth account. I'm not going to go into what an eBay stealth account is right now because I'm actually releasing a video later this week explaining exactly what a stealth account is and proof that they actually work. So if you want to see that video, be sure to subscribe to the channel because that video is dropping later this week. So just hit that subscribe button under the video. Okay. Okay, so more sales problem. What can we do if the buyer states the package was not received, but FedEx says they left it at the front door? So if you're selling on eBay, if you have a tracking number showing it was delivered, that's all you need. Then you give that to eBay, that's proof of delivery, and kind of too bad for the customer. You could, if you feel bad, reach out to the supplier and explain what happened. Sometimes, again, the supplier will refund you. Sometimes they'll ship out a new one. But you have a tracking number showing it's delivered, and that's all you have to do for eBay. Do I feel the... Okay. Oh, true. I should get a Disney. I should get the park pass, the Florida resident pass for Disney parks. Yeah, I should. But then I'll go to Disney World like every weekend. How do I like manage payments? I'm not using managed payments yet. Okay, Rich says, I may have missed this. So, how does economic nexus come into play with ever-evolving marketplace tax laws? You would still be required to file in states you meet that requirement. No. So, what Rich is talking about is that, like I said, before eBay started to collect sales tax for us, we had to register in some states. First state we had to register in was a state we lived in. So for me, that was New York. I used to live in New York. Then we also started to have to register in any state that we hit what's called economic nexus, or we hit the economic threshold for that state. And what that means is that basically the rule for most states is if you sell at least $100,000 worth of products into that state, or we send at least 200 items, 200 orders into that state, we then have to register with that state. So let's use Pennsylvania as an example. I had shipped in 2000, what year are we in? We're 2019. I had shipped in 2018 more than 200 items into Pennsylvania. So I hit the threshold in Pennsylvania. So I then had to register in Pennsylvania. Now I don't have to worry about Pennsylvania because eBay is, once I registered for Pennsylvania, I then had to start collecting sales tax for Pennsylvania and filing sales tax returns and sending them, it's called remitting the sales tax to them. Now eBay's taking care of Pennsylvania for me. Great. Do I still need to file with Pennsylvania? As I understand it, no, we don't. I was specifically looking at Colorado's law yesterday, and it specifically said that if we are a marketplace seller, and a marketplace seller is anyone who sells online and only sells on eBay or Amazon or other marketplaces like them, then you don't have to register with those states. So for Colorado, you don't have to register, even if you send like $1 million a year into Colorado, as long as eBay is taking care of the sales tax for us, which they are. And my understanding is that it's the same rule for the other states as well. Okay, what's up, Michael? Super chat. Thanks for the super chat. Really appreciate it. That will buy me like a water bottle in Disney World. Paul, if I cross a Nexus threshold after eBay has taken over the state, do I have to register for that state and get a sales certificate? Oh, so I kind of just answered this. As far as what I know, the answer is no. I still think you should look into this yourself. But I know for Colorado, when I looked at it, the answer is no. Now, keep in mind, again, if you're selling on other platforms, then you will have to register if that platform isn't taking care of sales tax for you. So eBay is what's called a marketplace facilitator. They facilitate a marketplace. Amazon is a marketplace facilitator. People who sell on eBay are called marketplace sellers. We are marketplace sellers. But there's also other people who are multi-channel sellers. And multi-channel sellers sell on more than one platform. So if you're selling on another platform like Shopify and nobody's handling sales tax for you, then you then have to register. And then it gets a little complicated because you have to keep eBay over here. eBay is going to handle all their sales tax, but the sales tax you collect through Shopify, or the sales that you do through Shopify, you then have to handle the sales tax through Shopify. So, confused? Yeah. Yeah, you can say that you have your items in your own warehouse. Tina says, I'm new to this, so sorry about the question, but why would I want to be tax exempt in all states? Why would this benefit me? So if you're tax exempt in all states, then when you buy stuff from Walmart, from Amazon, from Home Depot, from other suppliers that allow you to become tax exempt, if you buy any item from them, no matter what state you ship it to, you won't pay sales tax to that supplier, and that saves you money. And you don't have to pay sales tax because eBay is collecting it for you. So I really think this part of the law is still a bit like a gray area. It's very strange, if you think about it. So the point of, in order to become, let's say like before last year, in order to become tax exempt, you had to, again, the person who gets charged sales tax is the end consumer. So in order to become tax exempt, in order to stop paying sales tax when you bought an item with the purpose of reselling it, in order to get to that point, you had to register with the state, because you had to prove that, hey, Walmart doesn't have to charge me sales tax because I'm going to start charging my customers sales tax, right? So you had to go through that registration process. But now it's kind of like this weird area where eBay is collecting sales tax for us for 35 states. So I feel like we should be able to go to the state and say, hey, here's a letter from eBay showing that they're collecting for us. So instead of registering with you to collect sales tax, can I just register to get a resale certificate? And the resale certificate is what's going to allow you to become tax exempt. So I hope you guys are following my sort of what I'm thinking about right now. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that we shouldn't have, if we're only selling on eBay, we shouldn't have to register anymore in order to get a resale certificate. We should just get one because we sell on eBay, right? I think that makes sense. Maybe I feel like the process now to get a resale certificate should be separate from the process to register to collect sales tax. Before, they were part of the same process. And I feel like right now they should be separate, right? Because we don't have to collect sales tax. I don't know. Somebody's got to fix that because it doesn't really make sense right now. I'm going to write myself a reminder about something now. I'm going to look into that. All right. Okay, so Ocean Trick says, hey, I got a question. I'm new to learning about dropshipping. How detailed is your course? Is it an overview and just touches on these subjects, or do you go into the detailed specifics? No, it's very detailed, very specific. It's not an overview at all. It really goes into step by step how to do everything. And we dive into stuff like what we're talking about with sales tax. There's a big module about that. What tax exempt means. So again, that means you buy from Walmart and Walmart doesn't charge you sales tax. Okay, Noah says, hey, I haven't done the math, but is eBay doing the same thing with managed payments regarding the tax surcharge? I'm not positive, but from what I've heard, the answer is no, they're not. Um, I've heard people that called eBay and complained about this, and eBay says, well, blah, 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 this is why we're doing it. And by the way, it doesn't really matter because as soon as we switch over to managed payments, it's going to be different. So as far as I know, there's not this new tax surcharge with managed payments. What software do I use to track and price items? I use AutoDS. There's a link to it in the description of this video. And it is that link will give you a $1 trial. So you can sign up for just $1. And then after that, it's fairly inexpensive. You gotta check out the most recent prices though. Well, let's be clear. I don't know if what eBay is doing is illegal. Like I said, it just felt to me like it wasn't totally compliant. I wasn't sure if it was legal. I'm definitely not saying it's illegal. Like I said, I called the states, and no one's flat out said it was. I still think it's wrong. I still think they're being sneaky about it, but I don't know. Just let them do it. Most of the states didn't really seem to have a problem with eBay doing it as long as they got paid. So I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, so this is why it's really important to have good virtual assistants. So the virtual assistant didn't give the item the correct title. Title had the wrong quantity. So you got to be super careful with that. That happens, and that's why you need to train virtual assistants really well. Hey, what's up, Wally? Thanks for being here. Glad you could make it. Can I unfile from states so I don't have to file tax returns? Yes, you can. So every state's different, but for a lot of states, you can file. So just file your next tax return, and on it, usually there's some place that you can indicate that you are now closed, and you won't have to file anymore after that. But I would consult with an expert about that, or consult or call that state's Department of Revenue to make sure that you do it correctly, because every state's different. No, you don't unless you're registered. If you are registered in a state, that's the only time you have to file. And if you are registered, you have to file. My state has no sales tax. Do I need to get tax exempt? So you get charged sales tax based on where the item is shipping to. So if you're in New Hampshire has no sales tax. But if you buy an item on Amazon and you live in New Hampshire, but you ship the item to New York, you're going to pay sales tax on it because it matters where the item ships to. So you still want to become tax exempt. That's a good question. So for New Hampshire, maybe is someone in the chat here who maybe can answer this. So there are some states, like I said, that have no sales tax. Like New Hampshire is one of them. For those states, how did you guys become tax exempt? Did you just file for a resale certificate for that state? Let's go into the computer and find out, because it's a good question. All right. Let's see. This might be a bad idea because my internet connection is so bad. Resale certificate, New Hampshire. Let's see what comes up here. Hey, what's up? Ryan says, it's my birthday and I'm ready to start this. Oh, Shopify does collect the sales tax. Okay, so Noah, then all my examples are wrong. But let's just say you're selling somewhere else where they don't collect sales tax for you. Thanks for clarifying that. Here's an article for New Hampshire. Happy birthday, Ryan. Wish you luck. Bring it up. No name, you asked a question that honestly I don't understand because you're talking about some eBay rule that I'm not sure what rule you're talking about. Okay, so this says the state of New Hampshire does not have general sales and use tax. We knew that. Therefore, the department does not issue certificates for resale or tax exemptions. Interesting. Nor does the department issue tax exempt numbers. Please print this page and present it to any entity that requires confirmation that New Hampshire does not issue certificates for resale or tax exemption. That's interesting. So how are you supposed to become tax exempt in other states if you live in New Hampshire? I guess you would have to file in another state. This is getting all so complicated. Maybe we'll gotta have an expert on here because I'm not the expert. I use AutoDS to list on eBay. Yeah, I'm gonna write down that question too. Tax exempt if living in New Hampshire, because maybe we can get an expert on here to answer these questions. For you. What do you guys think? Maybe I'll reach out to like TaxJar. They might have someone who might be able to come on. Let me know if you guys would like that. Yep. I had a feeling. So maybe every state's different because it looks like in Oregon, how do you say it? Is sales tax free, and all you need to get is a sales certificate number. So maybe their rule is different than New Hampshire. I'm not going to look it up right now. My computer might explode. Okay. So let's go through some more of the questions I saved up. Okay, so Ed says, hey Paul, when filling out the information for the customer shipping information dropship, do I put the customer's email and phone number or my business email and phone number? This way I can track the package. Always use your email and preferably the buyer's phone number, because the person who's going to call that phone number is the carrier in case they can't find the location. Hi Paul, can you please explain? If the product I'm buying is cheap and I have to pay for shipping, let's say for Amazon, so I need to add $5.99 to the cost, how are other people getting free shipping on Amazon? Because they're using Amazon Prime. If you're drop shipping from Amazon, you should be using Amazon Prime for the cheaper items. My account immediately got suspended. Why? I just started using manual AutoDS. New accounts have a higher chance of getting suspended. This is happening more and more where new accounts will get suspended right away. It's very common, has nothing to do with what software you're using. It's just because you need to call eBay so they can verify who you are. They just want to ask you some information, and once you do that, your account is usually reinstated right away. Please get a tax pro to do some Q&A. Okay, I would do that. Okay. So next question. When using AutoDS, how does the item location work? You can set that up in your settings of AutoDS. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? And Ed says, how do you deal with returns? Does it go straight back to Walmart? Yeah, returns go straight back to Walmart. Walmart will give you a return label. You give that to the buyer, and the item goes right back to Walmart. Okay, so this is another good question about returns. So, hey Paul, I received a return label from Amazon with instructions to bring the package to a Kohl's store. I asked Amazon, and they say I can bring it to UPS or I can bring it to Kohl's. What should I do? I told the customer to return it to Kohl's. So Amazon has recently partnered with Kohl's to provide customers that shop on Amazon with free returns. So instead of shipping the item back, the customers can just drop off the item at Kohl's. And this usually applies when you're going to return it because of buyer's remorse. If it's the wrong item or something wrong with the item, usually you can ship it back for free. They'll give you a free prepaid label. You could always actually drop it off at Kohl's. That's always an option. And the great thing about this is that there's usually Kohl's everywhere. It's free. It's kind of a neat thing. I've done it, and it's fine. But for dropshippers, you don't want to tell your buyers to drop it off at Kohl's. Ideally, that's not the best situation because it kind of looks weird. I guess theoretically, I mean, some buyers might be okay with it because buyers on Amazon do it, but it kind of, brings to people's attention that you bought it from Amazon. You kind of want to just avoid that. Ideally, you get a return label and give it to the buyer, and the buyer ships it directly back without Kohl's. Okay, so Keisha says, I keep signing up for eBay, and they keep linking it to accounts that are suspended, and then they restrict me. Do you know why is this normal? That's not actually too normal, but it sounds to me like maybe you've been suspended in the past and you're trying to start a new account. So you want to start what's called a stealth account. Again, make sure to subscribe to the channel because later this week I will be dropping a video explaining exactly what stealth accounts are. It's actually going to be a series of videos. I'm going to talk about what stealth accounts are, proof that they work. We'll also talk about account suspensions. I ran a little test that didn't go so well, and I'll explain what happened with my accounts because of that and how stealth accounts protected me while I ran that experiment. We'll talk about how to set up stealth accounts, just different things like that. So if you want to see those videos, do make sure to subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, it would be hugely helpful if you guys smash a like button down below. That really helps the YouTube algorithm, helps get this video out there to more people, and just shows me that you appreciate this content. So if you are liking the content, please smash the like button down below. Okay. Okay, cool. So I'm going to cut it off there right now. It's getting a little warm in here, but I do want to appreciate everyone who came out, asked the excellent questions, and all the questions in the live chat, all the questions that you guys asked during the week. Really appreciate it. And thank you everyone who also answered questions that I missed. So like Noah, really active in the chat, answering questions. Definitely guys, check out his YouTube channel. He's got some great content as well. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll link up here 2 other videos that I think you might really enjoy watching. So check those out next.